is going on, everybody? Aaron Collins, drone pilot here. Today I made a video on a couple different things, right? So I wanted to see if I could makeshift, DIY, whatever you want to call it, a place to or just some kind of way, a mechanism to spool up my 6500 Spinfisher 5 with 50-pound braided line. I bought this reel used for like 80 bucks, and it had like 20-pound mono on there. The guy said it was 30, but I don't know, it seemed like 20 to me. Anyway, so what we got going on today is we are going to put on a trolling motor on my Wilderness Systems Ride kayak, and we're doing that for my dad. I am not trying to spend a bunch of money on this. I'm going to use everything salvage as I possibly can besides the trolling motor and the new battery itself. So we got that going on. Stay tuned, and if you hadn't yet, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I'd love to field some questions if you have anything. Anyway, enjoy the video. Let's talk about the actual transom mount that we're going to use. So basically, got some 2x4 lumber here, and I have a pre-existing rod holder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this makeshift transom to there, which I've already done. I'm just going to walk through the process. Obviously, everybody's kayak is going to be different as far as the width or the dimensions of those rear rod holders. So that'll be the only thing that's really varying. However, I suggest using some little vise clamps and mocking it up and make sure your kayak's level, make sure this is level, you know, just so you're not riding around and your little makeshift transom's not cockeyed to one direction. I mock mine up to go on the right side of the kayak. So this is what it looks like here. I'll get you some better light. All right. I mean, this is really easy to do, by the way. And basically, when I'm filming the intro to this, I'll probably explain to you a little bit of why. I don't personally want a trolling motor on mine, but my dad, he's 65 years old, and I like to take him fishing with me. So, you know, I'd like him to be able to be comfortable in the water and be able to get out there and go all day, and he can't do that at 65. You know, arthritis and other things happen when you get to that age. So basically, this is what I did last night. Took some little vices, I mounted it up, leveled it up, and then I put a few screws in to where the actual trolling motor is going to mount my little makeshift transom, and I took some wood glue last night and, you know, obviously put it on this piece, and then took the vices, screwed it together, and then viced these back together. So these things are dry and ready to go now. My next step, I'm about to take this thing apart, and I'm going to sand it down, and I'm going to throw some paint on there. I got my paint over there heating up in a heat lamp. So yeah, that'll be next. So what I'm using, just some 80 grit sandpaper. You'll need to really flatten out your surface. Scuff it up. Scuff up your surface real good so that your paint, you know, stays on there real good. Think if you didn't sand, you would end up with a lot, like your wood would want to, especially this old wood, it would want to just absorb it.
It probably looked like crap. I have a bunch of scrap wood laying all over the place. But I like to reuse and repurpose things. Obviously, because I'm cheap. Good enough for me. I think the paint will stick for that. Blow it off a little bit. Basically, this is a really old piece of wood. I think I scavenged this piece from, I think it was an old wooden fence that somebody said, hey, I got a bunch of extra wood slats. Ended up building a chicken coop, chicken house, hen house, out of this old recovered wood. And I still got a bunch left, but yeah, so we got it nice, surface nice and smooth, and we're gonna start applying some paint. I'm waiting on the paint to dry. I've kind of created this little deal here. I got to re-spool this Spinfisher 6500, Spinfisher 5. I'm putting some 80-pound, or nope, I'm putting 50-pound braid on there. It had like some 20-pound mono on there, but I want to go with a little bit heavier setup. Considering this is my ocean setup, I'm going to try to play with the tension on this bolt, on this wood. Basically, I'm using a setup like this, so that the spool is actually on this part right here, on the smooth portion, and the threads are going through the wood here. This is just like something I made a while back. It's supposed to be a sawhorse, but I ended up using it to protect the air conditioning unit from the dogs peeing on those, which I recently lost both of my dogs, so I don't really need that over there anymore. Anyway, we'll see how this works. Tension, it's actually that it's so loosely on here that it's actually going in on, when it gets to the edges, it's going inside the roll there. So back it off some, I think. Upgrade to a bigger bolt. More importantly though, is this. Come on, focus in. Let's see. There it is. So you see there that square end right there? That goes inside of that spool pretty good. Kind of enables it not to wobble. I think that was what the problem was, is that it was wobbling all over the place. And that was creating that line jam. So we'll set this up. We're going to give it another shot. Let's give it a shot. That's not good. That's way better. That works so much better. Just as an idea, this is the setup. You can probably do this on any board that you wanted to. Big washer, 2 nuts to keep this thing from unthreading. Then there's another washer just like this one on the inside, kind of keeps it flat. And also the most important part was this square head and on the inside here. And the reason that's important is because the spool kept on wanting to wobble, you know. But this is a good way, effective way to put tension on that line by yourself. You know, I'm thinking you could probably, you could do this in pretty much anywhere, you know, in your house, put it on a cabinet or something. It would be, you know, pretty easy to do, which I might end up doing, putting it somewhere, setting it up permanently. All right, here we go. Round 2, second coat. Second coat was added, and got some pretty good coverage. Thinking about adding a third coat of black and then spackling red in there. So I'll probably go ahead with the black and see if I can get more coverage. So let's take a look at this thing. I don't know how well you can see it here. With the light that we have, it's really not great. Maybe I can get some better light on it here. Just a minute. Alright, so here's kind of what the finished product looks like. It's not crazy, you know, no crazy customization, but it's got a little red, and it actually kind of matches, you know, what's on the boat currently and the overall color of the boat. So I'm kind of happy with it. Might end up putting a little bit more red on there, but On to mounting.
Right.
So this is what it looks like mounted. Complete mount setup here. I think it looks pretty clean actually, for just a rudimentary makeshift mount. Everything, tolerances look pretty good. Still have room for my rod holder, for my dad's rod holder to go on there. Let's take a look at what that looks like. If I can dig it out of all the junk here. Didn't think about that. Alright, so this is basically the setup that we're going with. Looking at where the trolling motor is, there's so many different things. I need to slot this wood on this side because the rod holder wouldn't fit. I'm going to do that and then update this with the rod holder, because that's another thing to consider, is that when this thing swings up, if the rod holder's in the way, which I'm thinking it's probably going to be in the way, and I'll have to make something different. So we might just end up going with a different rod holder for this, instead of using that other one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be in the way. Oh yeah, there's no way. There's no way it's going to fit. It's all in there. So looks like we'll have to build a new upper part for this. So, but we'll get him on the water with this, and I have the rail blades. I have like 2 rod holders up there, so he should be fine with that. Basically, kick it up out of the water. It's going to be kicked up to the front. You got really tight clearance. Look at that. I mean, that is, whew, that is almost touching, but it's not touching. Look at that. That is pretty good. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about what happened. Basically, the rod holder, when you put it on, it kind of pulls. You have to pull these in a little bit, and didn't really account for that. So I had to go in here and slot this side. Now we're getting ready to fit it back up there and see if that helps. And there is that bunch of blackbirds here. Suckers are noisy. It's that time of year though. Yes, very nice. It might help if I put things on right anyway. Bingo. Bingo bongo. Alright. So, now we know that works. And the trolling motor, we'll see if it fits. And it does. Alright. Good deal. And we got a rod holder. We don't have to rebuild it. I just cut the trolling arms off of this because honestly, I'm using my Hobie, which is, you're sitting on top of my Hobie right now as I'm filming.
I'm not going to use this kayak that much anymore, and if I do, you know, I have the ability to carry 3 here, and like I said, I have the Railblazer rod holders in multiple locations to mount those. I have in total 1, 2, 3, 4 mounting locations on the track and in the little. Yes, it works. Good deal. So essentially, I'm going to take a cam gear buckle strap with the battery. This is, you know, I don't know if I've said this, but during any of the making this video, but this is going to be rudimentary. I'm not trying to have this thing looking professional or anything like that. I want my dad to be able to go fishing with me. In order to do that, he needs some kind of propulsion. He can't paddle all day. So we went with a 35 amp hour Mighty Max. And it's pretty, you know, decent size, you know, but it kind of levels up the kayak. If you look up there right now, this is, you know, for me, this is important. Also, my dad, you know, balance. The kayak, before we started, we leveled it up, okay? And so as you can see there, by that level bubble, we are not far off from being completely level. And that's with, you know, that trolling motor on that side. And we're slightly heavier to the right, but, yeah, I mean, that's as rudimentary as it gets. Ended up cutting, obviously, those trolling arms off. Way he can have 3 rod holders in the back and out of the way. Yeah, that's about really about does it. I'm still undecided on whether or not I'm gonna straighten those plates out on that. Makeshift transom. I might not. We'll see. But I think he can definitely use this. You got the matching setup now with the wood being painted up to look. I might could put some more red on there. But one other thing that I wanted to add was, since I cut those trolling arms off, I took the wire coming out of the trolling motor, ran it through the rod holder, and it is like perfect amount to go over here to this battery. And it doesn't even move that much when you're turning, because it's such a small turn. As far as like radius here with the wire, so there's plenty of room. And I mean, if you wanted to even spin it all the way around, there would still be enough wire over there to go backwards, everything. So perfect. All right, let's do a little demonstration. I got the battery hooked up over there, and you can see I am moving this all around, and it is not affecting that over there. We got perfect amount of wire over there. As you can see, I'm spinning it. Okay. Alright. And it's got, this is the Minn Kota C30 Endura. Okay. It has 5 forward speeds and 3 reverse speeds. So we're going to go through the gears real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hauling bass, tell you what. Alright, we're going to go through the reverse gears now. 1, 2, 3. My dad's going to love this, I'm telling you. Minn Kota C30 Endura with a 35 amp hour Mighty Max battery. Homemade transom mount onto a homemade rod holder. Yep, that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate you taking the time and stopping by my channel and checking out my stuff. You know, as always, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good one.